Hello, friends. Tiana here with TianaSmithCoaching.com. And I am excited that I have a new setup at home. So when I'm not in my office, I can now film and do some work here as well. So today I just wanted to go live for a few minutes and talk to you about I was doing some work behind the scenes and I realized on a lot of sales calls that I get on or people messaging me and asking questions is like, well, I don't have an offer yet. So, how are you going to actually help me make money? So, this is what happens when you work with someone like me who's an expert at business building, strategy, and branding. And I thought I'd actually just take you through a little bit behind the scenes on my Canva and maybe my funnels as some of my client work pops up and share with you like what I did with them to help create an extra 6 or 7 figure income streams. Cool. So let's go. I'm going to share my screen and let's go to Canva. And I'll share some client designs that popped up and what we did. So, one of my clients who had a 6 figure launch within 8 weeks was Ani. He does commercial real estate. And let me get this to say, let's zoom in a little bit. I'm on a tiny computer. So one thing that I did was like I actually came up with this logo. He gave me ideas and notes like in Google about what he wanted to include. So I actually took the designs and made all these designs. I created the whole checklist so that people could actually print it out. And then there's taking next steps and then hyperlinking to next pages. Another thing we did with part of his thing was we did create this real estate, I mapped out like taking all his ideas and turned it into a storyline for webinars so that he could sell one to many for his course. And so these are just things I do for clients and then come up with their offers, their packages. We map it all out and create things like sales PDFs. So part of what happens is when people don't know what they're offering is we need to come up with, okay, what are you offering? What do we need to charge for that? Let's make it as valuable as possible. Another thing I did for a different client is we're relaunching her whole brand, and I run a lot of things for Debbie, but this was a free offer because the first place that people are going to come in touch with you, and this is where you got to get those automated leads, is a download, is a free offer, right? Where they go to a web page, they click on a link. So what I do when I work with clients is I take their ideas, they send me some notes, and then I literally map the whole thing out. Sometimes they'll write the little note, but then I take it all and turn it into their brand. I developed, her logo, and even she actually flew out here and we did a recent photo shoot and it turned out amazing. So these are just some of the things that I do for my clients to turn an idea into an actual stream of income and all the steps that looks like. Okay. Even for my own thing, for like my planner, for example. So I have a freedom planner that I sell. It's a business planner, and it's just people, I think, like they make things, but what you need to understand is that like no matter if you made the best thing, like I really know that my planner is the best thing, unless you have an audience of buyers ready to buy from you, it's not as easy to sell. And this is why I tell people like don't wait to start to build your audience, because like grow your audience now, get your brand now, so that when you're ready to sell something, whether it's a physical product, whether it's a service, whether it's a course, you have buyers. So one thing I did with my own planner is this is my free offer. Now, what this looks like is if you go to freebiztracker.com, and all of you can do that, this is a gift. I actually give a whole download of this for free. That's the thing you were seeing in Canva, but it requires a funnel on the front end. This is the start of a funnel where people can scroll through, they can get information about the planner and get the free version of it. So they go here, and these are the different things I build for people. Now that's on the front end. That's like, okay, here's this free offer. Now what happens on the next step? So let's fill in my information. This would put somebody into my funnel, into my CRM, which I love Go High Level. Now they get the planner, and then they also get a video training, and then they can actually upgrade to get onto the list to purchase when it's available, which is just in a couple of days from now for Black Friday, actually. So this is where you can lead people directly to a sale. And that's when we start to talk about those streams of income. Okay. So here's where most people, though, are missing out. I'm showing these different steps, whether it's a free offer, whether it's a webinar, that's a one to many. So free offers are like evergreen, they're always up and running. You always want to be directing people to them so that you can have those daily leads coming in. And then the second part would be like a webinar funnel, like what I showed you about Ani, where maybe you drive ads to a webinar sign up, and let's say you fill it up, you cap it at 1,000 people, 20% buy a $2,000 program. And that's when you can have like 6-figure days, 7-figure days. So one of my other clients, Carl, that's what he did. He ran a 3-day challenge. And on the day 3, it was a 3 or 5. On day 5, like on the Friday, he made like 3 or 4 million in just a few hours. So obviously there's a bunch of lead up to that. And he was growing his email list for 3 years. So he had already done several tens of millions in 3 years. And then, when you've got this audience, you've got more people, active buyers, you can do 2 or 3 webinars, and then you can have those automated sales. But the first step is always, what is your brand? What do you look like online? What are you selling? And there needs to be real clarity around that, right? And then the second thing is that you need to have a free offer. So I showed you a few different free offers. I prefer evergreen first, then you can do things like webinars. You need more of an audience for webinars. The free offers are really fast, are really easy to get started. And then you need a really good offer. And that could be like a $2,000 course with group coaching. It could be a $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 one-to-one service, depending on where your level of expertise is. And then as you're growing the audience, which is why you need that free offer funnel, because you need to always be collecting people's name, email, cell phone numbers. That's a business asset. So as you're growing that, let's say in a year from now, you're like, that's it. I'm going to start now. I'm going to grow my email list. I'm going to get on YouTube. I'm going to get consistent on social media and all this organic free way of growing my brand. I'm going to show up in this world. I'm going to believe this is possible for me and have fun with it. Okay, well, in 3 months from now, you could probably have a 6-figure launch potentially, or at least a 5-figure. Have you made 10,000 in one day, 20,000 in one day? It's really exciting when that happens. And then in a year from now, you could definitely kill it with a 7-figure. In fact, you can have a 7-figure launch far before that. The issue is that most people aren't willing or don't see the value, I don't think, in investing in their own business, putting in capital, the same way you would go buy another business or franchise for $100,000, $300,000, or $1 million, and you're going to get a business loan for that. You're going to go take out funds. It's interesting to me how people won't do that for their own business. And that's really what you have to do to grow a 7-figure stream of income. 6 figures, you could get there organic in a year. And you can even get to 7. I don't like to cap people. It is a mindset thing plus business. But if we're talking business strategy and we're talking numbers, you've got to have these different steps. So before we go, I'm going to show you exactly what I mean one more time. So this is an example of a free offer. So this is the first funnel you need in your system, is you need to have something of true value to give away for free. And it's not just that, I A/B test all these things. So when I'm running ads, this is where I try to teach people it's not just your branding. If you go to my website, though, I like to show the website because that's where everything comes together, right? So if I'm looking at a website like this, and whether it's my own or somebody else's, I could audit, you want to make sure that right up here at the top, what is it that you do? It's got to be super clear, okay? Then you want to have a free offer right there. They don't need to even go anywhere, even without a pop-up. That's that. Right here is where we're going to move people to a sales qualification funnel, okay? And that's where they're going to fill out an application to get on a call. I never get on a call with people, almost never. It might be a referral from somebody and they're like, I have cash to invest, I found you, but I'm really having them fill out this form to make sure they're actually qualified, okay? So that's the second funnel that you're going to want if you sell any high ticket goods. A third funnel you might have would be like a webinar funnel, okay? Now, I do have more evergreen ones on my website, but typically there's a great lady. I'll show you her website. I love her work. She has a couple different webinar funnels. Here's Kat Corroy. This is where you'd say, okay, yes, save my seat. So she typically, almost all her sales are driven only through webinar funnels and then her email list. So you'd go to her website and you'd sign up for this, and this would be a webinar funnel. It looks like it's freezing up a little bit, but that's what that would look like. And then, or you can buy directly from her, right? So I like to show different people examples because it doesn't matter who you go to. These are the different funnels. Okay. So when I come back over here to my website, for example, and you go to my freebies page, these are a bunch of different free offer funnels where people get on every single day I have leads coming in pretty much without even ads turned on. When I turn on ads, I've actually had from these two different ones, I've had 3,200 leads in 48 hours with only about 1,000 in ad spend. So I have a very high conversion rate if you're not familiar with that. Now, why is this so important? This is so important because everything is about numbers, friends. So the more people who know who you are, the more people who can buy from you. So again, I've done this for musicians, for course creators, for podcasters, for speakers, for authors. In fact, tomorrow I'm launching a book funnel for one of my therapist clients. I have another different client who does speaking events and is also a therapist, and we're launching 3 different funnels for her in the next 3 months. I have a photography client, a luxury brand photography clients, where we're essentially driving traffic to mini photo shoots so they upsell them. And then we also have the sales qualification funnel for just going directly for high ticket, which is new for them. So I'm training them on that. So it really doesn't matter what niche you're in. You need a luxury brand. It needs to all be consistent everywhere they find you. You need to be posting daily on social media and multiple times a week, at least 1-minute videos. Ideally, you want a weekly long form video. So there's strategy, there's marketing, there's systems, and there's sales. And there really is an entire online ecosystem. This is not a wing it thing. There's too much competition nowadays. Maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, you could have winged it, wung it, whatever you want to say it. But now there's post-COVID and post people going online and realizing that this is a multiple billion, actually it's $1 trillion industry. I've done a bunch of research for a new webinar I did a couple months ago. It's crazy. Like everybody's online. So whether you're consulting and services or local business, for you to tap in properly, especially if you're only online and you're wanting to work from home or work from anywhere, a coffee shop, this is the system. So here's my call to action for you. I do have a Black Friday deal this week only. And so if you want to go to tianasmithcoaching.com/apply, or you can just go to tianasmithcoaching.com and click on one of those buttons, then you can get on a call with me or one of my 7-figure club team members. We only have 3 spots, and we're offering buy one of the done for you packages, get the marketing done for you, which are usually 2 different total packages. So what we would do is we're going to build your systems for you, and then we're going to run your marketing for you for, let's say you sign up for a 30-day, then we'll give you 30 days worth of marketing. If you're signing up with our 8 weeks, then you're getting 8 weeks of marketing. And the 100-day, you get 100 days. So my most popular one that most people want is my 100K in a 100-day program, but it is a super high investment. It's about half of what we were trying to double your investment. So it starts at 50K. Now I have some lower price programs from 20K and 10K. And either way, the goal is to always help you double that within 30, 60 days of launching your stuff. So I want you to think about this from a real estate investment standpoint. People who invest in real estate, they're looking for a 5 to 7% cap or percentage return on their investment in a year. And what me and my company has been able to do for years and years and years now is help people double, triple, 10x, even 30x their investment in months. So I can't guarantee anything. I have to say that because that's just life. But what I can tell you is when we get these systems set up and when we train you and your team on them and we do all the work for you, you're going to be able to do it. That's if you're a person who's committed to it. if you're all in and if you are ready to go now. So DM me, comment. If you're interested, you can go to my website. But I hope this taught you something about the importance of free offer funnels, about branding, about growing an audience, and what it really takes to grow those 6-7 figure income streams online. It's not an accident. It takes multiple different steps. Don't be fooled by people out there. I promise you, they've got either more going on or they're claiming one thing, and that's not what's really going. So if you want the full deal of what it really takes to scale online, DM me today and keep growing and going.